angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Wow, so it probably feels like Christmas for several people today, including ourselves. Wow, I going to give you some updates as far as the Watchman news is concerned. Expect to see a lot more regular video type content. We did get the camera today, and it is absolutely mind-blowing. I have never in my life had a camera that would take pictures with quite the quality of that. So, and that was straight out of the camera right there. That's actually one room away. Blue was in the bedroom. I was in the living room. I zoomed in on her and snapped that picture, low light, the whole 9 yards, and still snapped a pretty awesome picture. And then we got to eat like everybody else. So I made beef stroganoff today, and I actually video recorded making beef stroganoff, just mainly to test the video capability of the camera. I'm still learning the camera, so I will put that video up when I get it pieced together. But it's not the best because I had the focus set to where it would focus once when I started, and keep that. I like that idea. I like that option, although it's probably not a good idea to zoom or unzoom your camera after it's focused. So there is that. So not everything in the video is going to be crystal clear. Not the camera's fault. It's the operator's fault. However, I did snap a picture of our dinner after it was made. And I think I'm impressed with it. The video quality is great with it. Again, it was user error as far as the focusing when I was video recording me making that meal. So anyway, I thought that was like really, really cool. I wanted to show that. And again, you're going to see a lot more video. I've got a lot of how-to kind of stuff that I want to do. Today, also, what came in the mail for me was a device, what they call a boulder rock. Many of you know that I'm a vapor, and I wouldn't go back to smoking for anything. At the same time, I'm not ready to give up nicotine. I've been vaping for several years now. The thing of it is I went from vaping what I call regular devices, what I was used to what they call sub-ohm vaping. Which is fine, except for the fact of several things. I mean, number one, carrying a huge mod all around all the time that weighs quite a bit. You go through a lot of juice. I'm constantly like dropping it on the table and scaring the hell out of Jen at night because I lay in bed and I have insomnia, so it takes me a while to get to sleep. And so all the way up until my eyes are closed and I'm snoring, I'm vaping. And so every time I set that down on the headboard, I'm sure, I know sometimes Jen will stir a little bit. It is what it is. This is something, this boulder rock, it's a little bitty what they call a pod system, and it uses what they call Nick salts, which I'll tell you what, I've been vaping on it since about 10 or so this morning. And still on the same battery. It's a small device, and I haven't even used a half a tank of juice out of this thing. It is incredible. So I will be showing that. Also, with that, one thing I will be showing is they have these little pods, and I got this system in particular because you can buy these pods easily, and you fill them yourself. Some of them are pre-filled, but also I can rebuild these. So like when the coil goes bad in this pod, instead of tossing it in the trash, I'll take it apart, I'll rebuild the coil, put it back together, and it'll be good as new. I will be doing a how-to video on stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff I know how to do, but I was very limited with the camera that I had on my phone. I've got a Samsung Galaxy S5, and for some reason, no matter what, it would limit me to like 10 minutes video record time, which there's a lot of things that's just not quite enough. And it didn't matter what size SD card was in it, whether or not it was empty or full. It didn't matter. It gave me that time limit, that's it. Well, this Nikon L840 will give me 30 minutes at a whack of video record time, and that's per session. So if I can't do something at least to a level or to a point that I can't stop the camera and restart it in 30 minutes, then I probably shouldn't be recording it. But anyway, so expect a lot of awesome new stuff like that to come along. I can't wait. I've been excited. Like I said, I've been learning the features of the camera a little bit today. Got a lot to learn. So I'm not used to. I won't say it's a high-end device, but it's definitely a lot nicer than what I've ever owned. So anyway, one more thing before we get to the topics that I want to talk about. Which, by the way, Fireplug gave me the second topic that I want to talk about. The first one I came across last night. Before we get there, just a real quick thanks for those that have partaken in our Amazon affiliate link. You can find the link in the video description. We're up to 4710. So the month's not over yet. We've got roughly 10 days left or so. I don't know how many days are in this month. But anyway, if you shop Amazon, please use our link. Every little bit that we get helps out, and it helps us be able to purchase things not only for prepping, but also for reviewing or you name it. So anyway, just wanted to say that. Again, thank you to everybody that has participated in that. You can either find the links in our description of our videos, or you can go to thewatchmannews.com. Right on the home page, we got a bunch of different suggested areas. There's search boxes there. You can put whatever item it is in that search box, hit go, it'll take you to Amazon, and you're good. So once you purchase it, we'll get the credit for that sale. Doesn't cost you anything more. We get roughly, and I'm just going to throw this rough out there, 6 to 8% on most items. So it varies depending on what it is. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Okay. So now, to get to the two different things that I was going to talk about. Well, I guess we'll start out with something that Fireplug had said in the chat a little bit ago. He made the reference that this is probably going, and I'm paraphrasing, this is probably going to be the closest thing to a group I find, and he's talking about like a MAG group or a mutual assistance group or a prepper group, like-minded individuals. That's a roughie, okay? And I've been doing this for quite some time. I've been a prepper for many, many years. And even after all these years, I cannot sit here and tell you that I have a group. I have tried multiple times on multiple occasions to try to get something going, to try to get a group going, to try to get individuals together to talk, to at least discuss things. And I have met failure each and every time. There's several different things that I run into problems with. Number one is the people. Okay, I don't get that many people that want to even discuss it. Okay, so there's a shortage of people to begin with. But then, when I do find individuals that are somewhat like-minded, I typically run into snags pretty quick. Okay. And those snags, a lot of times, will be that, more or less somebody wants to come in, they've got all these great ideas, they want to take over. After all these years that I've researched and that I've studied and put hard-earned time into to learn different skills, to learn different aspects. I've studied different countries and what's happened in war-torn countries, and you name it. Folks that just start out want to come in and say, oh, well, no, I'll do it this way. No, it can't. You can't have all your cogs turning different directions, okay? That can't happen. I don't want to be a leader, but I have succumbed to the fact that I'm going to have to be a leader. Why? Because I'm the one that got my hands dirty learning this stuff. Okay? Now, I would have loved to have had people right alongside me when I was learning this stuff. Hell, I would have loved to have been able to have somebody to bounce ideas off of back and forth. But I didn't. Why? Because nobody was there. Nobody thought that there was a need. Okay? Then you move on to the issue of certain individuals, and I've got one here that claim to be a like-minded individual. Okay? But when push comes to shove and you actually have to, get ready, nada. But we'll post pictures, and I know I just showed you guys one, but we'll post pictures all day long of the food at the different places that they're going out to eat. Okay? Now, I could probably ask this gentleman, and several months ago, I gave him the links and everything he needed to know, get some radios ordered, get them over to me so I can get them programmed. That way we've got communication. Communication is hugely important. I do not believe, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe he has ever put out that $25 to $30 for a single radio. Okay? Again, any given day, you can find out where he's going out to eat at. Okay? This is insane. So, I'm kind of going to close this thought with something that's not going to make most people feel any more comfortable. Okay? It is what it is. But I've learned to trust it. I have learned to trust it. And if you're not of a spiritual mind, then you know, it's just going to fall through anyway. But God will put you where you need to be, when you need to be there, and with those you need to be with. And that I am certain of. I am constantly, even though I can't actively put together a group, I am constantly, when I run into new people, different people, I am constantly putting them in the prepper mindset. In other words, how would this person be in an SHTF scenario? Can I trust this person? Okay. Is this person going to help? Or just sit around and not expect everybody else to do for them? You know, how do these people act today in good times? Somewhat good times. Okay? All good questions to ask and to help you understand the mindset of that person. Now, you may not have a clue of the mindset of that person after a major traumatic event. Okay? You may guess, you may speculate one thing, and it may turn out to be something totally different. So be prepared for that. But do that. If you don't have anyone to call a group, and like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I don't have anybody. Not at all. I've got some ideas. I've got, you know, what I've been telling you. I've got people that I ran across. And I know, you know, I do know that we have a registered nurse right on our block. I know that we've got an EMT right on our block, right next door. Okay? So these are little bits of information that I file back because that could come of a rather high importance at the right time or wrong time, depending how you look at it. But then the neighbors on the other side, okay? Pretty much useless, worthless people, okay? Just the way it is, right? So why am I thinking about them? Well, not because I would think about adding them to a group, but because I will likely have to protect my group from them. So that's why you have to think about everybody in your immediate surroundings. Now, we don't get out and about. We're not social people. We don't go out and do things. We don't, you know, we're kind of lame, kind of hermit kind of people. Okay, but, you know, everybody that I do run across, these thoughts go through my mind. Okay? It's a lifestyle. This isn't something you just dabble in, okay? This is a lifestyle, okay? And for those that just like to dabble in it, they're going to be sadly mistaken when the time comes. They really are. So it's just something to think about, Most importantly, relax. If you have faith, put that faith in God. And I mean that. I've had no choice but to put nothing but total faith in God. Okay, I had two choices: either do that or go absolutely crazy. So I don't feel I had a choice. I had to put my faith, and ever since I've done that, I've been rewarded. And I continually get rewarded. This isn't something that, something good just happened one time. I mean, this is something that has been ongoing ever since I completely 100% surrendered. Amazing stuff. Anyway, let me go ahead and go on with what I came across last night that I wanted to discuss. Now, we watch a TV show. Absolutely love this TV show. And for me to say that is speaking volumes because, as you all know, or should know, or you're going to know now, we don't watch TV. We don't even have a TV in our living room. We've got a TV in our bedroom. I turn it on for background noise when we go to bed at night. That's it. Once in a while, we'll watch a movie on the computer, or in this case, this TV show we watch on the computer, usually the next day after the show airs. Sometimes, like this past time, we were a couple of days delayed. So the show is God Friended Me, okay? And it is absolutely an awesome show. I love this show. I love everything that it is. It's perfect right out of the box. And the episode that was on Sunday happened to be about a homeless man and his son, and how he was having such a hard time getting back over that hump. Man's trying to get a job, veteran, served 2 tours. I know it's a TV show, but this stuff is happening every day. This is a reality for way too many people. So this guy served 2 tours, and so he's a veteran, combat veteran. Got a little boy. The boy's mother had passed away from cancer. Between medical bills and a bunch of wrong turns in life. I don't mean he made the wrong turns. Sometimes life makes that turn for you. He wound up living in their minivan with his son, and that episode really hit me hard because I hear a lot of people screaming, chanting, "Make America Great Again." Well, wouldn't that be a pretty damn good place to start? It wasn't too awful long ago that we had record numbers of home foreclosures. Many of those homes still sit empty today. In fact, many of those homes, from sitting empty for so long, are in such disrepair. Broken pipes from water freezing, you name it. That the houses aren't even really marketable. Okay? Can't we do something here? Is this how we treat our veterans? Because again, I know this was a TV show, but this is a reality for a lot of people. A lot of people. Especially the vets. They have battle after battle after battle after they come home. Right? You think their worst battle was over there in the sandbox, and in all reality, it's a much worse battle when they come back here. It really is. It's sickening, it's saddening, and to know that we are continually sending so many different countries so much money, right, for this, that, and the other thing, and we've got the people that put the most important thing on the line for this country, living in their vehicles with their children, facing any number of things, whether it's from crime, whether it's from another criminal family called the government taking their children because for whatever reason they can't afford or don't have proper housing. Okay? It's just battle after battle. And once you start that slide, it is holy hell to get back up, which is the case in this show. The guy was homeless. There were several jobs that he had applied at that turned him down because he told them that he was homeless, and they said, well, you don't have a permanent address, so we can't give you the job. So the one particular job he applied at on the show, he lied. He lied and claimed that he had a physical address, and they found out that he lied, and he didn't get the job as a result of it. You know, this is the catch-22 that many are finding themselves in. You know, I hear a lot of people, make comments when it comes to the homeless and stuff. Get a job, get a job. It's not that easy. It is not that easy. Right? Not all of your homeless people have brand new iPhones. Okay? Many of them don't have any kind of a phone. Okay, so what kind of chances are you going to get a job if you don't have a phone and you don't have a permanent physical address to put down on your application? These are things that we need to think about. And I don't want to sound like a bleeding heart liberal because I'm absolutely not. But I'm a human being. I'm a God-loving, God-fearing human being. And people deserve a chance. I'm not saying people deserve all this stuff for free. People deserve a chance. If you gave Jen here a chance to work somewhere, you can bet your ass she would be there on time, early every morning. Okay? And it would be a miracle if she missed a day. I think 2 days. I think in the time that year and a half period when she worked for Doors, she missed 2 days, and one of them was to go see her niece in a Christmas program or something, some type of school program. Was one of those 2 days, wasn't it? Or, I mean, she would do anything, but nobody wants to hire the girl with the crutches, regardless whether or not she graduated college with honors. Okay? That doesn't matter. Just get a job, Jen. Just get a job. I mean, it's unbelievable, folks. These are things that automatically come out of some people's mouths because they don't want to face the reality of it. And all the while, many of them will make excuses for everybody they know that get help in one form or another. They've always got to, it's every time. Every time. And you know what? I call them out every time they do it because I don't like bigots and I don't like hypocrites. And I think when somebody's a bigot, when somebody's a hypocrite, you rub their nose in it. You rub their nose in it because it's a shameful way to be. Very shameful way to be. If we started treating people how they should be treated in this country, instead of propping up the people, the wealthy people, or the entertainers, or the athletes, if we started treating people just on their merits and abilities and skills alone, you would see this country turn around. You want to make America great again? You recognize people for who they are as an individual, not kind of a group you can lump them into. That's how you make this country great again. Anyway, let me go on. We're going to be joining up with Pepper Nurse 1 at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sounds like he's got a good show planned. And then, you'll have our content beforehand. So let me go ahead and get through the news headlines so we can get the video started, and that way we can get as much done as possible before the show. Anyway, or before his show, I should say. Or before mine, because my show never really starts. All right, and I didn't even scroll down because I'm that well prepared today. All right. But I do have my coffee, and I am going to take a sip. Ah, yummer, yummer. All right, starting here. Mom accused of abusing 7 adopted children and forcing them to star in YouTube videos. Can you believe this? This is absolutely mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Folks, don't do this. I shouldn't have to say this. Don't do this. Right? One of the saddest things, if you watch little girls that, not all of them, I'm not saying all of them, so calm down, but some to half maybe of the little girls that participate in pageants, if you see how their parents usually, again, don't kill the messenger, the mother, if you see how they act, right, it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's see. Religious leaders rally to defend Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. Now, this is an interesting thing. She is the Circuit Attorney in St. Louis. Now, she is not wanted. Why? Well, yeah, she's liberal, okay? But there's a lot of things that she has been trying to do, and I've kind of done my homework on this lady. And again, I'm not a bleeding heart liberal. I'm not anything. I'm not Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative. No. I don't even want to be known as libertarian. All right? I'm a completely individual, independent thinker, and that's how I want to be considered. A lot of the things that this lady brings to the table are pretty sound to me. And they don't like it. Why? Because it's going to cut into the revenue. Okay? It's going to cut into the revenue that the government gets from we the people for trying to get them up on any little BS charge and make them, participate in any particular BS program, right? Because that's their friends that are making money that way from these court-ordered things. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff she wants to straighten out. They don't like her at all. And they are doing everything they can to oust her. Does it remind you of a particular president that's in office right now? This needs to stop from both sides. Both sides are doing it. It needs to stop, right? The people elected her in there for a reason. Same as the people elected Trump in for a reason. We need to stop, right? How could we even know what good or bad Trump intends to do because he's been so busy with this ignorant stuff? And I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, leave him alone long enough to see what the hell he's going to do. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like a society of 3-year-olds that don't get their way. Absolutely unbelievable. And that's not, particular to any particular party or anything like that. It's just widespread. Unbelievable. Trump to look into Facebook censorship after site gags his social media chief. I'm telling you, don't be shocked. Don't be surprised if one day you get up and Facebook is poof, gone. Don't be shocked. And they're in the news here a little bit further up as well. Facebook, that is. Lavos Deputy Warhawk Abrams says Venezuela aid op unacceptable. Russia to protect its interests. So it was Lavrov responding to Abrams. I'm sorry. I misread that. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, keep an eye on this situation. Keep a very close eye on it. U.S. jury finds Monsanto's Roundup was a substantial factor in causing man's cancer. They are losing more and more cases, and this is a good thing. Monsanto, also known now as Bayer, they probably need to be taken down. They really do. And I've used Bayer chemicals for a long, long time, and I'm not talking about aspirins. I did pest control for 3.5 years, and the pest control chemicals that I used ultimately came from Bayer. Trump names former Delta exec to lead FAA amid meltdown over troubled Boeing 737 MAX 8. Assad and Russian defense chief meet in Damascus, slam West for hampering Syrian settlement. Pope, you're going to love this. Pope refuses to accept resignation of French cardinal convicted of sex abuse cover-up. Right? So this guy was convicted. Did I say convicted? Of a sex abuse cover-up. Convicted. Right? So he tries to resign. And the Pope says, no, you can't quit. What? Why wasn't he quitted? What? Folks, it's only going to stop when we stop it. Okay? I've said that a million times. It's only going to stop when we stop it. Armed gang raids convoy carrying uranium fuel to Brazil nuclear plant. Which is interesting that this just happens in Brazil. Now that Trump and his buddies want to add Brazil to NATO. I don't trust any of this. I do not trust a single bit of any of this. And anyway, weren't we going to pull back from NATO? I guess those were just words too. Now we're trying to get more people to join the team, right? Sick of human politicians, 25% of Europeans would prefer AI government. Yeah, let that sink in. That's why I paused. That was for dramatic effect. Did it work? Let that sink in. 25% of Europeans would prefer AI government. Folks, you don't want AI government. You know why? Because anything that uses logic and reason and not emotion is not going to fare very well for humankind. Okay? Because there's a lot of logical things that we should be doing that we're not. And if AI was in control, well, you would be. Maybe, if you were able to. Indian Air Force seeks fresh replenishments of missiles to counter Pakistan's F-16s. So, India looking for more boom, boom, bang, bang. Qatar to launch Islamic banking giant focused on energy. Something to pay attention to. More and more and more countries and different people are moving away from the dollar. It looks like Qatar is on par, not to rhyme, to do the very same thing. Russian airlines halt purchases of Boeing 737 MAX jets indefinitely. That's a no-brainer. Boeing 737 MAX pilots frantically searched manual as craft flew into water, says a report. So, on their way down, literally, on their way down, they were doing everything they can looking through that manual, trying to figure out how to fix this. Right? This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. There should be multiple ways just to shut that computer system down and go into manual. There should be multiple ways to completely override, including a toggle switch that just shuts the computer off. And I mean off. Completely. Right? I'm all for making sure that there are manual control lines for the control surfaces in these aircraft. And so I don't like this fly-by-wire stuff. I'm not a fan of this stuff. Hydraulics and all that good stuff. Yeah, but do you know how hard it would be to pull the stick back and blah, blah, blah? Yeah, I do. I also know how hard it is to fly a plane when your controls have no response. I think I would take a stiff stick, so to speak. Speaking in pilot speak, by the way. Just for the dirty-minded out there. Off-duty pilot reportedly saved Boeing 737 MAX from crashing day before disaster. May asks EU to delay Brexit until June 30th, not prepared to delay further. So I don't think she's going to get that. Somebody mentioned maybe sometime in May, possibly like May 22nd, if I'm recalling right. But that I don't think that anything's in stone yet. This is going to be a mess over there. No matter how you cut it, this is going to be a mess. Facebook apologizes after mistaking Trump's social media director for a bot. I bet it was a Russian bot too, not just any old bot. It's got to be the Russian bots. A perfect storm of tight supply and global demand drives oil prices higher. Now, remember that, because you're not going to see your prices go up tomorrow, most likely. But probably within about 6 months or so down the road, if these prices remain higher, then you'll see your prices at the pump get higher. A lot of people think that it's kind of an instantaneous thing, and it's not. It takes several months before it gets through the system and costs you or saves you at the pump either way. It's not something that happens overnight. Singalese man sets Italian school bus on fire with children on board. The amazing thing is all the children made it out okay. There were some that were treated for smoke inhalation, but to my knowledge that was the extent of the injuries, and there wasn't all that many. I think like 50-something kids, 55 kids or something, if I recall right, was on that bus. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. A super smeller. Woman can sniff out Parkinson's, leading scientists to create early detection test. I thought it was kind of interesting. Apparently, people who suffer from Parkinson's disease, apparently they have kind of a musty odor to them. I would have never known. I didn't know this. There are some individuals, I guess she's not the only person, but there are some individuals that are so hypersensitive to their sense of smell that they can actually smell that on another human being, and that is them literally smelling the Parkinson's. So that is a pretty incredible breakthrough, even if it was kind of low tech. Pretty incredible. EU keeps piling fines on Google and slapping tech giant $1.7 billion for blocking rivals' ads. Okay, and if you think that's going to stop it at Google, it's not. It's going to go into Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Do not plan that these platforms are here forever. Do not plan that. Okay, for one, even the business model is not sustainable. It's not. Escalation of U.S.-China bilateral tariffs to shave off $1 trillion from America's GDP. Teen's bizarre sudden onset, schizophrenia, and hallucinations caused by something millions of us own. A cat. I had to read the article. Technically, what this gentleman got was this young man. He got a cat scratch fever. What we hear is cat scratch fever. Well, in a handful of cases, that actually causes psychosis in individuals, and so they just thought that he just came down with schizophrenia. I had no idea. Well, I guess sometime later they noticed some marks on his skin. Took him into the doctor to get him checked out, and it came out that he had cat scratch fever. He had that bacteria, that pathogen inside of him from a cat scratch or a cat bite. And that's what was causing it. Once they treated that and cured him of that, his schizophrenia and hallucinations gone. So I thought that was pretty interesting. A NASA baffled by mysterious unexplained ejections on asteroid Bennu. Trump says ISIS to be defeated by tonight, but 400 U.S. troops will stay in Syria. And this is kind of crazy. I thought we would go over this real quick. Pentagon wants to test a space-based weapon in 2023. Let me have a sip of coffee and a vape. You're not going to believe this. Man, I love this pod system. I really, really do. And it's a cheap like $10 pod system, $11 pod system. Okay, Pentagon wants to test a space-based weapon in 2023. Now, it doesn't take long to get into the nuts and bolts of this. Defense officials want to test a neutral particle beam in orbit in fiscal 2023 as part of a ramped-up effort to explore various types of space-based weaponry. They've asked for $304 million in the 2020 budget to develop such beams, more powerful lasers, and other new tech for next-generation missile defense. Such weapons are needed, they say, to counter new missiles from China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. But just figuring out what might work is a difficult technical challenge. A neutral particle beam. And if you don't think that they have these already, you're insane. Okay? All they're looking for is the money to better develop them and to deploy them. Okay? $304 million, believe it or not, is not a whole hell of a lot of money when you're talking in weapons language. Okay? So, I'm telling you, they already have these weapons. They just got to fine-tune them. Fine-tune them, maybe find a better way to power them. But they've got them, and they're right here. But this is coming out. This is a thing, okay? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Folks, it's amazing the weaponry that these countries possess. That's why I've said time and time again, when these countries banter back and forth about missiles, it's like throwing rocks at each other. It really is. Because there is so much technology that goes way beyond lobbing a warhead across the ocean. Okay? It's unbelievable. But, again, this is coming out in reports, so just kind of let your mind think about what's not in the reports. Anyway, I wanted to point that out. That is all of the different articles I have for you today. We'll continue on with the live show. If you're here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be joining up with Prepper Nurse 1 at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And don't go anywhere. Just stay right here. If you just watch the monologue or the recording thereof, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.